Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome back. It's Wildlife Wednesday yet again. It's always a shock right away when I can hear myself and I'm like, oh yes, that's me. I'm live. Hi, Sam. Hi, Saida. Good morning. Just heating up some food, so I'll be right back. No problem at all. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Sam just subscribed. I got an emote for it. Thank. I got a penguin. I thought I already had the penguin. Maybe not. That's okay. Thanks. That means you get the new, well, you don't because you have the founder badge, but I have the 2-month badge that you can see, which is the little adorable pink axolotl, which I love a lot. I love how it, is like, oh, here's just a button to thank. That's just very internet. Give me 1 second. I really love to do this thing where 1 second before the stream starts, I think of a thing I want to do. It's really good. It's a really good, not at all stressful time. Like, I realized if I don't have Discord up on this computer, it doesn't say streaming, although I don't know if I care, because people who, know I'm streaming, no. Anyways, still don't have the left hand. Well, Anyway, so the only real announcement I have today before we get right into Subnautica and all that sort of stuff is a reminder that I'm not streaming on Fridays anymore, for the time being, at least not regularly. And I'm gonna be ending the stream at 12:30 today, because 1 o'clock was getting to be a little too late for me. I get very hungry. So that's really all I have to say. Oh, the other thing is, you may have noticed in the title and stuff that I said we're gonna talk about Venom. It's because if you were here last time, you know that I was talking about this book, this is Venomous by Christy Wilcox, and it's very cool. I don't remember why we were talking about Venom or anything. I don't remember what animal we were talking about in Subnautica that came up, but I remembered I had this book and I was looking for something in it, and I was like, I forgot how cool this book is, and there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about it in it. Venom Eddie Brock. Yes, I know that guy. Anyway, but you can see I made a couple of notes about things that I wanted to talk about cool stuff, but we probably, I made a lot of notes. We might not get through all of it, all the cool stuff today, so it may have to range a couple, and we'll see how much we get into in Subnautica. We'll just see how it all goes, and we'll just move right on over, and I'm pretty sure the sound is on. It is. Okay, great. So I played mostly a bunch last night in preparation for this. I should have played earlier, but I just wanted to I talked about, this isn't, I don't want to do so much of the sort of more gathering, building, that sort of stuff on here, on the stream, because I wanted to be able to focus lots on the biology stuff. So I did expand the base and do some more exploring. We ended off on the island, and I finished exploring the island last time. Hold on, I need to get rid of this. So I did add some stuff. I had to go look for a bunch of fragments, which even, with knowing where they could be, was very annoying. It was very, very annoying. You see, I got the first sea moth depth module. I also have a random gel sack, just because I do. And is there anything? I guess I didn't get as much stuff as I thought I did. I thought someone was standing behind me because of the AI voice in the game. Seek fluid intake. I feel like one day we'll get to the point where we all do have little AIs in our brain being like, you are hungry, go eat something. That'd be helpful, I think. But you can see there's some improvement in here. I got the modification station, which is where we can get the sea moth depth modules, although I need to go get the stuff for them. So we may or may not do that this time. I haven't decided yet. And then I got battery chargers, and you see they're going, and I got a power cell chargers, makes my life easier, and I got some food stuff. I always forget how to make the more marble melons grow. Is it like that? It is. Okay. I guess I just want, oh, I can plant. Okay, great. Sippy, seek fluid intake. Maybe I should, I don't know, fluid intake sounds kind of funky. Because I was gonna say, oh, I'll change hydrate to seek fluid intake, but we'll see. So that, I, got this fancy water machine, and I realized I could slap a locker right on it. I got more power, so hopefully that will help. Have the bioreactor still. I moved it to a different place. Just have a thing here. I put some gardens out here, but I haven't put anything in them yet. And I got a moon pool. Also, a nice window. Which almost broke my base for a little bit there, but it was worth it. I got a moon pool for my sea mod. So I could get more things for it. Yeah, which I haven't done. But, I mean, I got that because it's pretty easy. But otherwise, I haven't. But we can, because one of the things that was happening was, like, even we were trying to do the mushroom, or the jelly shroom caves, and that was not going well. Because I couldn't go any deeper. So now we can do 300 meters, which is better. And I think somewhere there's also just, like, storage. I think I have titanium and lithium, so I might slap a storage container on there, because I like to have extra food and such. So we'll make one of those. And then there's several, like these. I haven't been down there yet. I don't know if we can go to that one since it's 500 meters, but I haven't been down there yet because it was 300 meters, and that was too... Slap that storage container just right in there. Absolutely. I was trying to remember what food things were the best. I think the bulbo tree is really good because it gives you water. Lantern tree gives you quite a bit of food. I don't know about the melons yet because we're not there yet. But, and this gives you a lot of food. So, that's good. It makes my life easier. Should get some patatas. I think the bulbo tree is honestly probably like the best one because it gives you a lot of water plus food. Water is very important. And I do have this thing, but this thing is slow, so. Potato. Yeah. Slap that storage right where he belongs. Yeah, exactly. You get me. I do have a message, so let's... And I got more,
This is Life Pod 2, coordinates attached. We're way past our safe depth and bleeding
Ooh.
O2. We'll have to swim for the surface, but it's 500 meters straight up.
I mean, oh no, but...
We'll make for the rendezvous and keep you posted. Out.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
That's also gonna be 500 meters, right? Okay. So we do... I mean, we're gonna do some exploring, but either for this time or for next time, the goal is to get this stuff. I think I need... Do I have I don't think I have magnetite. I do have... I think you need lithium for plasteel, and enamel glass is stalker teeth. And then rubies and more stalker teeth. But I say we just, you know, And there's a couple places... I did get the laser cutter. But there's a couple places I need the laser cutter to get into, just to collect stuff, which is fine. Beacons. I wanted to... Since I have batteries now, I don't even think I need a full battery for this, but I can make the the thermoblade, and then food is even easier because I could just kill it in the water, and so water really becomes the only issue here, which is ideal. I don't need the habitat builder right now because that's only for home, really. Oh, I also used it all. That's fine. I just need water. I'll take these two. Okay, you know what? What tree? Take some more bulbo tree. Great. And then... How's good? Are they done? Yeah, they are done. So we all know that I want to go up... Oh, the other thing! I don't have it yet, but I found the stuff for... not that. The stasis rifle, which is the thing you can, I think, use to keep things in place, like the Reaper Leviathan, for example, and then we could go get that boy, which is what I want to do. But I want to go finish exploring the jelly shroom caves to see if there's any fish we missed or anything like that first. Oh, and I was going to get lithium, and I think I need 6 for what I want to do. Also, yeah, I should probably change out batteries on some things. My laser cutter's fine. Repair tools, not great. Now, the battery charger is one of those things that, like, the first time I played, I got it, like, much later than I really needed it, and it was frustrating. It's just very frustrating having to make a whole bunch of, batteries. Okay, put those there. Put these ones in here. And so that's... The flashlight's okay. Laser cutter, virtual scanner. Okay, I think I'll just, for the flashlight, I'll just take the battery that's at 80% and slap it in the flashlight. Wait, is this the thing? Whatever. And then I'll just bring in the extra battery. And that's probably good. And I'm good for food. Ooh, is my power cell done charging? It is, because that's also probably a good thing to put into the sea moth. Okay. I wanted to make some storage. And then we can head off into the sunset. Sort of deal. I feel like we've figured out most of the stuff that's in the, we've looked at most of the stuff that's in the jelly shroom cakes, but just want to know. Oh, I have an extra piece of... Why do I have an extra piece? I don't want it. Okay, whatever. And then I'll just put the power cell and extra water and health kits. And that should be good. I might grab I'll go put the titanium back and grab like one thing of water. Exit titanium. Look, space is at a premium. I don't have that much space. Bring him with you for good luck. Absolutely not. I don't need luck. I also have not been to the Aurora yet, so I haven't like gotten the prawn suit or anything. I'll probably do that either during this episode or between this episode and the next, but we shall see. Titanium friend will remember that. I mean, I'm gonna turn him into like something. He's gonna be transformed into something. Okay, let's go exploring. I did, when I was exploring and such, nearly have a Reaper take down the sea moth, which would have been very annoying. Okay, I feel like that's sufficient. In we go. Really need a better defense system to this thing. So I want to go there. And maybe we could try to go there, but shit. Okay, hold on. Hi, Doug. It's nice to see you. Oh, you... We got an animal fact and a duck noise. I don't know how well I can quack, but it's like... Wah, 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 wah. Here's my quack. And then you want an animal fact. Let's see. Here's a fun one. So, giraffes, you know, really tall guys are like yellow, they got brown spots, they got a little weird horn things, whatever. Giraffes, because they're so tall, they probably, don't quote me on this, but they most likely have like one of the most muscular hearts in the animal kingdom because they have to produce enough force to get the blood all the way to their head. So it's pretty cool. They have like really thick walls on the, I forget which side it is. One side like pumps the blood up, and then the other side like kind of receives it. They got big hearts, big boy hearts. How are you doing today, Duck? But this is what is this? Oh, I don't think we talked about the agent floaters, but they are just like big boys of the little dudes whose names I can't remember. No. What I wanted to do was get rid of some of my beacons. I don't need the laser cutter beacon right now. I do want to go to the jelly caves. I don't need the island. I do want to go to the jelly caves. Don't need the forest right now. At some point I'd like to go to the pods, so I'll just leave those. Don't care where my camera droids are, because they're useless anyway. What's the closest jelly cave entrance? And giraffes are just loving animals. They got big hearts. Absolutely right. I'm doing great, thanks. That is awesome. I'm glad to hear it. They got strong hearts. Big, strong hearts. The other thing I would like to... I don't remember if I don't think I put a beacon on where the blood kelp is, but I want to go there also. That's one I kept passing by, and I was like, I want to go in there. Oh. What the heck? That took down some of my health. Okay. Stop. Or maybe I just crashed into something. Who knows? God, I can't wait to go an extra 100 meters down. Very exciting. I mean, it's really the difference between having to stay at the top and being able to, like, go to the bottom of this. That's about the difference. Don't you hate in life when you just don't see things, you know, load in until they're right in front of you? Inattentional blindness. I feel like there's only that maybe one new fish species here. Also, yes, I know. I'm gonna get whatever's in here also. I'm at it. I definitely need magnetite. I have not scanned that. I just noticed. Diamond's good. Magnetite is a thing I need. Definitely a thing I need. I'm trying to remember why the heck we were talking about venomous animals in the first place. I could go, I guess, rewatch the video at some point to figure it out, because I can't think of anything in this game off the top of my head that's venomous. Because, like, the new animals we were looking at were the ones that were here last, I think. So I am confused. Yeah, I'm not sure there's much else down here, but God, is it pretty. I mostly just want magnetite, to be honest, but it's always good to have more lithium. Where shall we go? I feel like the... Oh, was that an eye? I think that's an eye. One of the things I really missed out on in this game is the prawn, like the big rocks, right? They're for the prawn suit, which I don't have yet. But I like never used the prawn suit for mining. I just never like really thought about it, and then I just like the sea moss so much more. And by the time I got the prawn suit, I just wanted to go deeper. I don't like that noise. I don't like that noise at all. I wish the sea moth could go deeper than it does. That would be the best. The other thing, like, I know in the... I believe, what's it called? Either in the bulb zone or the, blood kelp is where you... Wait, I didn't even pick that up. Is where you get... the gel sacks and the rubies, which I need more of to make various things you need aerogel for. Because I got a couple before, but it wasn't enough. God, imagine there was like a little claw on the sea moth and you could pick stuff up with it, like a claw game. That would be great. Yeah, I feel like we've explored what there is to explore here. I don't think the biodiversity is wildly different down here by any means. So, up. Ah! Okay, that one was me. That was definitely me. Oh god, it's so dark. So we will probably just, because I don't exactly remember where the blood kelp zone is or anything, and I forgot to put beacons there last time I was there, we will probably just pick a direction and go for a bit. I don't have that much stuff on me right now. Like, I think we'll just go in the general... I don't need this anymore. We'll go in the general direction of the mushroom forest, and then we'll go from there. Oh, but wait, I wanted to go to this thing first. Oh, and that's quite a ways away, so we'll go there first. Okay, off we go. The best part of this is definitely going to new biomes. Because I think we talked about this before, but it's kind of a thing where it's like, you know, talking about all of the individual, like, sort of like species they put in the game was a lot easier at the beginning, because in this first biome there's a bunch. Did I miss the Venom talk? No, you didn't. We haven't even started the Venom talk, other than me just trying to remember how we even got on the topic in the first place. But I was just talking about earlier. I think you were here last time, right? I was talking about this book, which is called Venomous, and it has a ton of cool stuff in it, and so I made a bunch of notes about stuff I wanted to talk about, because I know we're at a point in the game where in any given episode we might not discover a whole bunch of new stuff. Oh, look, the bulbs. Great! Great. Go see what's down here. It's very warm down here. These are smokers. There's a whole thing about... There's black smokers and white smokers in the ocean, and one of them is colder and one of them's hotter, and I don't remember which one it is, but that I think is the distinction. Well, other than the color. But we'll take a little look-see through here. I don't think I've scanned these cool looking plants. I don't even know if I've scanned the bulbs yet. Okay. Membrane tree. Ha, it's like membrane and brain. That's cool looking. Did I? Oh, it's very warm here as it turns out. Okay, I can't scan that. I don't have the temperature except in here, so I think I missed that part. I hopped in the middle of your conversation. That's fair. Oh, sorry, not last Wildlife Wednesday. Last Wednesday we were talking about this book, and we were talking about a little bit about venomous stuff, but oh god, I can't go too deep down there though. But I want to. Wait, that's all. I already forgot where I was going originally. There, that's where I was going. Because I got excited about the glowing blue balls, as one does. Ooh, ruby. I need that. Why is this? Yeah, I just, like, God, sometimes I just start getting back into a particular subject. Like when I was, like a while ago, that this isn't on stream, but when I was looking into Reapers and like how real a Reaper might be, or like its features, and I just got like really into echolocation for a bit there, which is something we are going to talk about when I face against the Reaper again. And we get to break down the Reaper, which we're not there yet because I need to make a stasis rifle and like probably a lot of health kits, but we'll get there. I looked into last week's stream. We were talking about drooping stingers. Oh, yes, you're right, because we were talking about the little tiny structures that like jellyfish and stuff and like man-o-wars use to capture prey. Also, I just learned last night how much Twitch takes from bits to... So here you go, I just want the game house. Ah, thank you so much. 3 emotes, fancy. Thank you so much for the 300 bits, Tinfoil. I appreciate it. Yes, even this biome, I feel like we really need to go deeper to find the new things, but I want to find the new things now. I think that's a ray we've already looked at. Oh, see, I can do this. Yeah, of course, you're pretty cool. Ah, like I could do that. There we go. I love that it gives you a thank you message. I appreciate that a lot. I can't friggin' see anything. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna go... we're gonna go... Jesus, take the wheel. Okay, we're gonna go to this life pod, and if in the process of this journey we don't find something cool to talk about, then we'll go back, and then we'll pause for a second. We'll talk about Venom. Oh, about Venom. Ooh. Oh, this is gnarly. I should probably repair this bad boy real quick before we get in here. Just give me a second here. Give me one moment. There we are. In we go. Oh, we're spinning. We're losing control. God, stop, please. Okay. Oh, there's light bud. Hey-hoo. Hell yeah. I love the new emotes they did. They're so cute. I already scanned this. I'm losing it. Okay, it's fine. I don't think we scanned these either. Oh! Or this boy! But I will! I ain't afraid! I ain't afraid of you! Ow! How are you hitting me? Oh, there's another one. Alright. That was a mistake a little bit. They're so cute. They are so cute. I really like the little penguin one because I just really like penguins. Can I get in here, please? Yes, thank you. Ooh. Nothing else? No? Not even like a health kit? Alright, that's fair. It's fine. I want to know what kind of eggs these are. I don't have the like big aquarium yet where I can hatch eggs. I just love gay anything, and rainbows have always been my jam. That's a big friggin' mood. Is that a thing that I want? Oh, I think that's a charger, right? Yeah, I have that already. Okay. Out we go. So we'll take a little look-see through here, since we're down at the bottom of this crevasse. I'm working, so I might tune out a bit, but I'm so on board for that. No problem. I really like the koala one, and I'm hit of it myself. Yeah, no problem. I personally have a hard time watching streams and doing nothing else because I get jittery. So I totally understand if you're doing other things. I know we all have lives to work. Ooh. We all have work to do and stuff like that. I can't go down here too far, I don't think. Hello? Is there anybody who lives here? Just stealing. Yoink. I think we've looked at this guy already, right? This is the same. This is the shuttle bug. Sir? Okay, we have. There's a lot of eggs, and I want to know what egg this is. What are you? I do not know. I cannot. And like, where's the parent? Oh, we're in the blood cups. Oh, okay, good. Exciting. I just realized I goofed on something I spent hours on, and my boss will not be happy. That's the worst. Oh my god. I literally, lately, I finished, editing an entire YouTube video, and then when I was done, I was like, I don't even like any of this. Like, it took me like 4 hours, and I was like, I might just scrap this whole thing, frankly. What is this? Ghost weed. So the ghosts can get high. Okay, this is, I think this is where the spoopy squid live that, like, EMP you. Okay, thank you. I got it. I know. Oh, this place is so cool. I thoroughly enjoy the blood kelp zone because it's just so creepy. Oh, and blood kelp, I do want one of these. Ow! I'll scan this, but also I want it because I can grow it now. Thanks, I'll need it. No problem. I want that. Thank you. What's this? Uranite. I just want a new creature. I will carry that one piece of titanium with me forever if I can find a new creature. I feel like I'm going to regret saying that. Oh my god, it's a new creature! See, I regret it already. Actually, I think it is, right? There is a different kind of... Yeah, dang it. Alright. When I get home, I'll get the titanium piece. But, although, I don't know if this counts because the bladers are very, very similar to the, biters. So, we'll see. Stop throwing yourself at me. I don't like it. Yeah, like, I want, like, a new thing, not just this is the same fish in... Why is it swimming backwards? That is impressive. Wait. Hello?
New creature discovered.
Can I scan it? Did I scan it already? Have we looked at these already? Hold on. Did we look at this fella already? Life forms, not the coral. Not the... Yes, the fawn, actually. And... Oh, no, we did. But again, they're kind of just like the same as the hoopfish, so... If that's directed at me, I'm Tin Foil Cats. You can call me Tin if you'd like. I came here because Renia made a guest appearance and she and Queen had a very interesting conversation. We did! We had a great conversation. It was great to have her as a guest, and I hope to have her back again sometime soon. Man, I'm scared of garbs. Never mind shark. How does one play this and not faint? Hi, Ghost. It's good to see you. Look, this is the perfect biome for you. We already had, like, the ghost, what was it? It's like ghost weed. It was so good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I honestly, I get confused about who first comes. Oh, that's nice. But sometimes I forget who came to a biology stream first and who came to a, like, Mindset Monday first. I get these things confused. Because usually people find me through one and then they maybe come to the other one if they're also interested in that. But now we're playing this. I can never play games like this. I have an intense love of the ocean, and I have watched, like, Planet Earth multiple times, especially the ones where they go into, like, the really deep areas of the earth. I was here on a Monday. Hello again. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Well, welcome. If this is your first Wildlife Wednesday, welcome. I love animals, and I love animal biology, and I love this game, so that's another thing I wanted to be able to share with people, you know? And, oh god. If you don't already know, I have had you through biology and mindset. Yeah, it's a great crossover. I have a degree in marine biology with a minor in neuroscience, so, like, mental health and biology and animals are, like, my jam, basically. So, these are all the things I like. We're not gonna be able to go any deeper, I don't think, anytime. And then I just want to find something new. Recently played AC Odyssey, and you're supposed to kill sharks and then jump out on purpose. Hell no. I will say, even when I was playing, God, what did I play? It's Far Cry, I think Far Cry 3, maybe? Like Jason Brody, that one. And there's a part where you have to, like, part of it's, like, hunting animals, right? And one of the things is, like, you're going to hunt sharks. And I will say that there's a part of me that's like, oh, just jump in the water with the shark, where the shark is. Right. And, like, on my survival instincts were like, hell no. But, you know. I can't swim IRL, and the thought of having to escape a shark by swimming. That's fair. Oh, I hear him. I hear a boy. Oh! Oh wait, that's not the boy I wanted. That's not the boy I wanted. I thought you were something else. Nope, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Go away. I thought there's another creature that lives somewhere around here that makes similar-ish sounds to that. I don't want to be anywhere near you. Sir. Whip. That was scary. I'll just close my eyes and beg for superpowers. On the plus side, like, sharks are generally pretty chill. Because we're not really what they tend to eat. So in real life, like, we did talk about, I had a statistic somewhere where it was like, let me see if I can find it really quick. Where it's like, and so in 2019, there was 105 confirmed shark attacks on people. 40% of which were provoked, which means, like, a little less than half of them were because people were being stupid and, like, poking sharks and, like, trying to feed them and just being dumb. I probably don't taste good shark standards. Yeah, and the USA had the highest rate of provoked attacks. Yeah, they have to be starved to even aim for you, and when they realize your blood's radioactive. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's different if you're injured, but if you're, like, just in the water and you're swimming, like, again, you're not really generally they're, like, what they eat, and so you don't really register as food to them necessarily. But of course they are animals, and sometimes they get confused, or, like, maybe on that day you do seem like food, so. Okay. Dry land. I think I went there already, right? I don't know. I think I did go there. I think that was the island. Alright, well, we'll do a little bit more exploring, and then we'll head back, and we'll take a break, and we'll talk about Venom, which I'm very excited about. Oh god. I'm, like, a little sideways, and it's making my brain feel funny. There's the old sand shark. The old sand shark. I know somewhere around here there's a reaper, because I have been here before. And and there was a Reaper. And I don't like that. God damn it! Get away from me. Get away. Get away, get away, get away, get away, get away. Get away. Where's the frickin' there? Alright. I've been playing Raft with my partner. There's a shark that follows us around. He tries to attack us in our raft. You called him Bruce. Yeah, I've played Raft a little bit. That is something I like that game. Although I don't... Wait. It's just ambient sounds, it's not Reaper. Okay. But it's one of those games I feel like I don't get it in a lot of capacity. I'm not sure. I can't tell if I'm actually hearing a Reaper or if my brain is just freaked out about Reapers. I just feel like he's here somewhere. Ugh, this is so frustrating. Okay. Let's go. Like, I vaguely feel like I hear the Reaper. But I don't know. We'll keep an eye out. No, I totally hear him. He's here somewhere. God, where are you? Do you guys hear it? Am I going crazy? We're going home. We'll put a net out of our brain. It's fine. Everything's fine. Bruce sounds like a fitting name for such a gentle giant. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think, like, in Raft, the shark, like, eats away at your base, right? Which is not really something sharks do so much. Although, I do believe sharks, kind of like snakes and probably lots of other animals, will sometimes, like, oh, I just need to check if this food is food or what, and I'm gonna check with my mouth. That being said, I fed my snakes yesterday, which is always a fun experience. Because one of them is timid and doesn't like to eat when I'm around, so I have to leave him alone. And the other one is so excited to eat that he'll try to eat me. So, sharks are curious creatures. Yeah, and it's like, well, they don't, like, the only real sense they, like, have active control over is like, well, I'll just, like, bite it and see what happens. You know? Understandable. Alright. Oh, I overshot it. It's fine. Okay.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
So we'll take a pause here, and I'm just gonna look. See, I have all my notes, and we'll kind of go in order of the way the book does. So one more time, I'm gonna switch over to chatting for a sec. But one more time, so you can clearly see it. This book is called Venomous. I very much recommend it. It's really cool. It's by Christy Wilcox, and we're just gonna go to my first note on it. So the first thing, actually, I wanted to talk about, just for anybody who's sort of new to this kind of stuff, is... So there's kind of 3 terms you gotta know very basically when you're talking about Venom. Thank you for holding up a book. Here it is. It's a really cool looking book also. It has like it kind of reminds me of that biome we were just in, because it's like dark and it has like this fancy spooky blue. Anyways. But so when I'm talking about Venom and stuff, one of the basic terms we need to know is, like, so there's venom and venomous, there's toxin and toxic, and there's poison and poisonous. And so I'm gonna look, I'll switch to my here, we'll look up the definitions of all these, so I have a definition. But basically, because people often think that, especially like poisonous and venomous, are interchangeable terms, and they are not interchangeable. They mean different things. Book time! We're going to read. Twice upon a time, there was a Usain Bolt. It says Usain Bolt. That's fun. Anyways, we'll get there. Let me go to my browser. Oh, that is maybe working. It was working. It doesn't want to. Give it a sec. Give it a sec. It's just tired. It's trying its best. There we go. So the basics, the very basic building block is, for God's sakes, I keep forgetting I can't do that. Okay, here we go. So toxin is sort of like the basic one. Toxin is basically, it's a substance that causes like toxic effects. So it's an antigenic. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but poison or venom. Basically, poison and venom are both toxins. And like they're like subsets, because venomous basically means it's an animal that is injecting toxin into you in some kind of way. So it's stuff like, obviously we think of snakes, which have specialized teeth for delivering venom. Stuff like bees and wasps, they have a stinger that injects you with venom. Platypuses weirdly have these like spurs on the back of their back legs, and stuff like that. So there's several different ways that venom can be injected and stuff, but it's basically venom tends to be the more offensive one. It can be also used for defense, but it's the one where it's like it's an active act. They're going to inject you some way. And then, so this is, we'll go to the definition really quick. So it's an animal that secretes venom. Yeah, they inject the venom. And then poisonous is more of the, like, commonly thought of as defensive kind, because poisonous is, like, when an animal is poisonous, it's if you eat it or, like, you licked it or something like that, then you're ingesting the toxin that way, or it might like be absorbed through your skin or something like that. So something that's poisonous, yes, it's capable of causing death or illness. Antigenic, any substance that can stimulate the production of antibodies and combines basically with them. That's a great definition. Yeah, because toxic is basically like something that's bad for you, but it will cause an immune response, I suppose. Simple definition of an antigen is something that evokes the immune response. Toxic is not useful. Not helpful. Yeah, but basically like a substance that will evoke an immune response. That's good. So you're saying poisons are passive traits and venoms are active traits. Like that's a good sort of way of looking at it. It's like if you're dealing with something poisonous, as long as you don't touch it or eat it, like you're good. But something venomous, you have to actively avoid getting bit by it or stung by it or stuff like that. To make sure you don't get the toxin in you. Because that's something, so I worked at a reptile place for 3 summers, and obviously a big thing that was always a question is like, you know, oh, you get to handle the snake. Do you want to handle the snake? That's like, is the snake poisonous? And it's like, well, no, with some exceptions, snakes are not poisonous. I believe there are like a couple that are poisonous, and like just in general in biology, there's always exceptions and stuff, but generally when people are talking about snakes, we're talking about venomous. So that's step 1. And so other things that are venomous are like jellyfish and man-of-wars, because they have stinging cells. So it's still like a stinger, but they usually have a bunch of these tiny ones. And I did the same thing last time where I couldn't remember what the term are. It's like cnidocyst or like nematocyst or something. It's something cyst anyway, but there's a couple of different kinds. So and that the first point I had marked in here was talking about box jellyfish. So we're gonna look up box jellyfish really quick. Box jellyfish are this kind of really small, oh wow, like I was already looking at it. Box jellyfish are a very, very venomous kind of jellyfish. So jellyfish are cnidarians, and I see this was the thing. It's like they're not called cnidocysts; they're called something else, and it's gonna bother me maybe. Anyways, it's fine. It's fine. But they're really, really small. I don't know exactly how small, but they're very, very small. What is the? Tell me how big they are. I want to know how big they are. Aging growth. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. You're not. This isn't helpful. Reaching IDP. What are you telling me? I'm gonna look in the book again. Nematocyst. That's the word. I knew it was something like nematodes are like types of worms and stuff like that, I believe. So it doesn't like make sense exactly, because then there's, what are they called? There's a different phylum that the phylum name and the cyst name is the same. Anyway, it's fine. This is just me losing my marbles. Tell me how big they are. Anyways, but so box jellyfish are really, really tiny, and I don't know exactly the size. I apologize. But, and you can see, like, they're small and they're, like, translucent, which means you can see them, but it would be really, really easy to miss them. And what can happen is people will go swimming, and they'll go swimming where there's box jellyfish, and it's easy to swim into one. And their stings are incredibly painful, and they can be fatal, which is obviously a problem for us. And this is the book was just talking about one of the things, just as a quick aside. I have a couple books like this where it's like they're nonfiction biology books, but they also have like stories woven throughout them, and like that's my favorite thing, because this specifically is talking about the story of a biochemist who got stung by box jellyfish and became really interested in them after that. Any jellyfish which doesn't have a scientific name that includes the word war is usually deadly. So my teacher said. Yeah, that's fair. Although I believe man-o'-wars, which is like the big war boy we talk about, aren't actually, like, they're not true jellyfish, because we're gonna go on outside again, but man-o'-wars are made up of a bunch of other little organisms, which is super duper cool. Super duper cool. Yeah, so they're Nidarians like jellyfish are, but I believe they're a different class. Cubozoa. Yeah, so these are hydrozoans and these are cubozoans. Anyways, they're colonial jellies. They're so freaking cool. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so the thing that I want to talk about with this is, so fun fact, there's more than one word, and they're actually really cool. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm always open to fun facts, and I'm always open to the fact that I don't know everything. I just think this stuff is all really, really cool. So, anyways, but so apparently this lady, her name was Angel. Hold on a second. Her name was Angel Yanagira. Kiara, I think. I probably butchered that. But she found out that box jellyfish venom is a pore-forming toxin, or porin, which punches holes in the membrane of cells. So it punches holes in your cells, which causes them, it's talking about specifically red blood cells, so like the ones in your blood, naturally. And it causes them to leak potassium and hemoglobin before they burst. So when cells explode, basically, it's called lysis, and that's something that stuff like viruses will get cells to do sometimes, because it's a good way of spreading more virus. But it's cell death. It's a bad thing generally. You have to have some cell death to have the cycle go. But when cells explode, that's not the best way for them to die. And so it talks about how they leak potassium, and that's what makes it lethal, because you get such a giant increase in potassium in your blood that, quote, it can trigger cardiovascular collapse. And so one thing we talked a little bit about last time, but I wanted to talk about a little bit more about this time, is so there's different kinds of venom. And so the main two, for God's sakes, the main, I don't want to talk, not that movie. Can you counter that with large doses of sodium? It's possible. I mean, I think what happens is, well, one of the problems is, like, with box jellyfish, it's like oftentimes you don't even know what happened. Like, it's just like, oh, you're swimming, and then, oh my God, there's like brutal pain, and then it like within a couple minutes, you're reaching like toxic levels of potassium in your blood. So, like, I think with we have developed antivenoms for a lot of like snakes and stuff like that over the years, but the problem is, if you don't have access to that, or you don't have access to good medical care, like, it can be a huge problem. I just want to, like, the actual, no, like, not the movie. See, I went through this before. But what I want to talk about is, usually there's, like, the ones we talked about in here anyway, is there's two especially interesting, in my opinion, groups of venoms, which is, there's ones that are necrotic, which means they kill your cells, and it's really gross and very painful, but it, like, kind of kills your cells. And while it can be a big problem, it's usually more localized, and then there's neurotoxins, which affects your nervous system, and those can be a much bigger problem because they can like cause, you know, like it was saying, like cardiovascular collapse. It can cause you to stop breathing, to stop having control of your muscles, to like stuff like that. So they're a lot scarier, and those can be the ones that kill you a lot faster. So yeah, so this is like more of a breakdown. So we talked about like there's necrotoxins, which cause necrosis, and there's another one I think it had here. Yeah, so there's also cytotoxins, which I think are similar because they're causing cell death, but on like a smaller scale. And then there's neurotoxins, which are those are like the huge problem. And one of the things I did want to talk about when we'll get to is the blue-ringed octopus venom and how that one works, because there's another story about that in there. And then there's myotoxins, which damage muscles. But again, this is like that stuff that, like, myotoxins and neurotoxins are the ones where like it can affect your whole body, or it affects like you on a much bigger scale than, you know, one area of your arm is, you know. I love the blue ringed octopus. They're really cool. They're terrifying. I remember seeing on Instagram a guy free handling a blue ringed octopus, which, like, don't ever do that. There is, like, just on the internet and like stuff, you often see people free handling, like, without any gear, like with just with their hands, handling like venomous snakes and like stuff like blue ringed octopuses. Like, for God's sake, don't ever do that. It's just like there's no benefit that comes from that other than, I guess, like, you look cool. I don't know. Just like don't handle venomous snakes. That's how a lot of people get bitten by venomous snakes, by the way. They think it's a good idea to pick it up or like poke it with a stick. Leave them alone. Whenever I see that, I shout, don't touch. Yeah, generally in the wild and stuff, if you don't know what something is, like, just don't touch it. If you're not 1000% sure, just don't touch it. Don't try to pick it up. Look at it. Maybe take pictures of it if you want to, but like, give it space. Leave it alone. Anyways, I see a Bengal tiger that can kill me in 2 seconds. Let me go poke it. Yeah, that's like literally. So here we have, in Ontario where I live, we have one species of rattlesnake. They're called Massasauga rattlesnakes. I believe like they either have like a cytotoxin, maybe a necrotoxin. Like, I don't think they have neurotoxin. Maybe the myotoxin. I don't know, but they don't. It's not neurotoxin. And like nobody has died from a rattlesnake bite in Ontario in like 50 plus years. But people do get bitten, like maybe like, I don't know, like 10 people a year or something get bitten, but it's like most of the time when people get bitten, it's because they weren't looking where they're walking or like wearing the appropriate gear and they stepped on one or stepped too close to one, or they were doing something like they were drinking and saw a rattlesnake and thought it would be funny to pick it up. Which, like, it's one of those things where it's like you think that people would have the common sense to not pick up or poke dangerous animals, but people don't. People don't. I was lucky enough to see them in the wild. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm so jealous. Anyway, so that's a little bit about that. I can't even read my own writing. I'm not going to lie to you. List. Ooh, this is fun. So there's 2 things in here that I thought, on a bit of a different note, were really interesting. So there's one, yeah, common sense is never common sense. But so there's one chart in here that talks about like sort of like the deadliness of different venoms, and then elsewhere in here, you might have heard about this before, but there's this guy, I think his name's like Justin Schmidt or something, and he came up with the Schmidt like pain scale or something, and he like lets things sting him and reviews it and like rates it. It's wild. Anyways, but I wanted to talk a bit about the deadliness thing because I think it's really cool. Now, the problem, and it does talk about this quite a bit in the book. What an awful job. I think he did it voluntarily. But one of the hard things about like deadliness is and stuff like that is, so this chart and this like these references, they're talking about the LD50, and the LD50 is like lethal dose for 50% of like the animals in the study. Oh, thank you so much, Project Name Palm, for the follow. Welcome. I don't think I can ever complain about work again for the name of time. Yeah, but so this is talking about deadliness in terms of the LD50, but I believe most, if not all, of these are talking about mice. And the problem is that venom and toxin in general, it affects different animals in different ways just because of the way like where it's set up biologically, what kind of like cells we have, what kind of like neural pathways we have and how they're set up and stuff like that. So just because something is deadlier to mice does not automatically make it deadlier to humans. So just like be aware of that. It's very hard to find good, easily maintained models for humans, and that can be a huge problem with like testing and stuff, because a lot of animal testing is done on stuff like mice, and while they're a good model to work with, like mice are not closely related to people, and trying to get stuff like primates for that kind of thing is so much harder. So anyways, also just as a note, something that I find interesting is, so my last year of school I had to do a project, and I did this project about sea urchin stress, basically in response to changes in pH and temperature. But like we had to choose a model species, and we got like a list of species we could choose from that we had access to, and most of them were invertebrates. Like there was kinds of snails, there was urchins, I'm not sure what else there was, crabs, maybe, stuff like that. And then there was also a couple species of fish, and at least 2 groups, I think, did fish. But because fish are vertebrates, they had to go through more of a, what's the word, like a bit more of like an ethics thing, because there are ethical standards for testing on vertebrates, but there are not really ethical standards for testing on invertebrates. Like, you can do anything to invertebrates in the name of science, which is kind of a little fucked up. Because as much as we learn from, animal testing is garbage. If you like hardcore, there's a great band called the Flaming Tsunamis that talk about it, and various ecological matters. Animal testing is one of those things that's, like, research in general is just kind of an ethical nightmare. Because a lot of the ways we learn, like, really important things are done through, like, killing a bunch of animals, which is not obviously the best way to do it. But it's like, again, we learn about this particular chart, like we learned about the toxicity of different venoms by injecting mice with them, which is, and like seeing how many died, which is fucked up. But if no backbone, we can do anything to it. Basically, that's basically how it goes. There's no, like, there is some kind of standard in science where it's like, it's expected you take good care of your animals and you don't make them suffer needlessly, but it's like, it's all very, it gets very blurry. Breaking things is the best way to learn about them. The stakes are a little higher here. Yeah, like it, I don't want to get too far into this because I don't want this to become an entire ethical discussion, but just the way we treat animals in general is just leaves a lot to be desired, just in every sense, in every like way we treat animals, everything we use animals for. So it's hard. It's real hard. You can clearly see sea urchins trying to protect themselves when you cut them open. Yeah, thankfully, my group, what we did, there was some other groups that did things where they had to kill the animal to get their results. Oh, hydrate. Thank you, Ghost Floof. But for ours, so what we did so one of the ways, fun fact, one of the ways you can measure stress in sea urchins is you flip them onto their back and see how quickly they turn themselves over. Like, that's it. That's what we did. I mean, we put them in sort of stressful environments in terms of like temperature and pH. Although we actually found out that there didn't really seem to be a difference in stress anyways. So that was good on that level. But so all we did is we put sea urchins in tanks with a couple different environmental conditions, and then we just put them in boxes and flipped them over and timed them. I had to kill my urchins to see how much plastic there is. Yeah, I do recall, I believe a group did, I want to say mussels of some kind, and it was about microplastics, and in the end, like, they had to kill some of them so they could see how much plastic had been ingested. So, this is kind of why, like, we had to do a project, so we're like, let's pick something where we don't have to kill the animals. And we're like, we'll just flip sea urchins. Easy peasy. It was fun. Sea urchins are really cool. They have all these little tube feet, and they're fun. Some of them flip over very quickly, and some of them just chill on their backs for a while, just regardless. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah, we were talking about deadliness. So, and so the lethal dose we were talking about, so the LD50, is the dose usually in micrograms per kilogram, I think. I'm happy I don't have a 160 IQ. The way you need to learn about stuff then is just not better to be dumb. Dumb and happy and not hurting anybody. Glad I have my guppies for my final project. I will say, one of the things, one of the labs I did that was really fun was we got to do a lab about schooling behavior in fish. So, which involved, like, putting a fish in a tank that we had, like, sectioned off with tape. So we had, like, different sections, and seeing how often it, like, switched sections, so how long, like, often it was moving around and stuff like that, and how much time it spent, like, hiding and stuff to measure stress. And we did that with, like, one fish, and then, like, a couple, and then, like, more, and then we did it with, like, 2 different species, just to see how the fish would school. Schooling behavior is so cool. That's a whole other thing. Anyways, back to the thing we were talking about. So, LD50, lethal dose in 50% of the little population you're using. In this case, it's mice. It's usually in micrograms, I think. Oh, sorry, not micrograms, my bad. Milligrams. I can never tell. Sometimes I forget what the M stands for. Milligrams of toxin per kilograms of body weight. To kill half your test animals, which are usually mice, but sometimes other things. So this isn't exactly. I'm gonna have to. Okay, just for my own brain. So lower means deadlier, I believe. Right? Yeah. I did similar with the snails. Oh, that's fun. So lower. I'm trying to remind myself. Lower LD50 is worse, because it means it takes less per kilogram of body mass to kill something. So let's see, what has the some of the higher ones. So we have stingrays with 28 milligrams per kilogram. We have a short-tailed shrew, which is a kind of mammal. It's like a little rodent-looking fella. Microgram. Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like, I've just been out of school for long enough that the knowledge is in my brain, but, like, my wires get crossed. You are absolutely correct that it is the fancy U or M symbol. I just only have so much storage in my brain. Anyways. I literally had the same thing yesterday. I was doing a spreadsheet, and, like, there's an E function you can do in, I think, calculus, where it's like you do E to the, like, something X or whatever, and that's a thing, a math thing you do. Yeah, E. And then there's another thing where it's like, when you're spelling, like, I'll put it in chat, it's like you do, like, E minus 3. Yeah, it's like, it's this stupid thing to mean, like, I was always bad at this, to mean that. That's probably not the right amount of zeros. I was always very bad at that, but, like, that's what it means, and, like, that messed me up, because I remembered an E thing, but it was the wrong one. This is what happens. This is why I will never ever say that I'm an expert on this subject, or, like, any subject, because I'm not. And I think one of the big things you learn in biology and, like, just in life is, for everything that we, like, know or think we know, we might be misremembering it, we might have our facts crossed, or we might, like, have it right, except later we find out, you know, through research or, like, whatever, that, oh, that's not actually true, or it's not always true. So, just in general, always take everything I say and everything everyone says with a grain of salt. You're more intellectual than most on this, regardless of your bias or pros. Well, this is mostly just, like, interest, like, over time. It's just one of those things where I am absolutely positive that at some point I'm going to say something that's completely wrong with utter confidence, and then probably find out later that it was completely wrong. And I expect it to happen. It's going to happen. Which is why I say don't take anything I say as law or fact all the time. Just saying. Anyways. So we had, again, we had stingrays, which are on the higher end because it's 28. I do that all the time. We all do that. My dad does that a lot. And the short-tailed shrew, which is one of the few venomous mammals there are, which has, like, it was between 13 and 20-ish. And there was one other higher one. Oh, and there's a kind of, well, it says moth or butterfly. It's a moth or butterfly. So I think that might actually be a caterpillar, because there's some caterpillars that are venomous, but it's in the 9.5 range, so that's higher. And then we get into some that are, like, in the 0.0 whatever. So we have, let's see if there's any just point. So the black widow is 0.9, so we're getting into the in this sense more deadly to mice. We have the black widow, which is 0.9. We have a type of centipede, which is 0.6. We have a type of harvester ant, that's 0.1. Is that all the ones there? We have a type of frog. Oh my god, venomous frog. That's so cool. We might have to look into that. Note to self. We'll look at that after, but I'm interested. Okay, that's 0.16. And then going down another point value, we have the box jellyfish. So we're getting into stuff that is quite deadly, and we know to humans. So it's 0.01. Again, this is milligrams per kilogram. So it's a very, very small amount. Like, all of these are just very small amounts. But some of them are even smaller. Probably the spitting frogs they're referring to. I will definitely have to look into that, because I don't think I've ever heard of venomous frogs, but, like, I believe it. Frogs be wild. Anyways. We have the fat-tailed scorpion at 0.08, sorry. We have the collector urchin, a kind of urchin, at 0.05. We have stonefish, which is another thing I want to talk about later, at 0.02. So those are getting to, like, even more. We have two kinds of venomous snakes, two kinds of taipans that are in the 0.02, 0.01. And then even further down than that, we have, I think, just one. This is the wild one. So cone snails, you might have heard of, are a type of snail that are insanely venomous. And so this is a type of cone snail that registers at, this is in humans, by the way, too. This is estimated in humans, between 0.03 to 0.001 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. That's how much it takes to kill you. Crazy. Absolutely wild. So again, this is obviously, like, deadliness is one of those things that, like a lot of things, you could define it a lot of different ways. Like, you can define it by how many people die by, like, from it per year, but that also has a bunch of factors that affect it and stuff like that. For some reason, this reminded me of the bird whose defense mechanism is puking. That's a mood. Some poisonous frogs can squirt venom out of their eyes to kill prey. That's interesting. So I am interested. I have this noted, but we're gonna look into venomous frogs now, because I want to see if there's definitely poisonous frogs, but I want venomous frog. And I also need a sip. Oh my god, world's first venomous frog. Not that. Not poison. Not poison. Yeah, this is the one that's in the book too. Bruno's cask-headed frog. See, this is one of those things where it gets a little frustrating that when people don't know the terms, because it's like, I don't mean poisonous. Or this one's talking about poison. Like, poison dart frogs are poisonous, as you might imagine. But Bruno's cask-headed frog. A very fancy sounding thing. Very fancy indeed. Okay, let's look at this bad boy. Killer spines on its head. That's lit. Oh, he kind of looks like a gecko, like his head, I mean. Look at him. Look at this man. That does not look like a frog head. That is, I don't love that, I'll be honest. It looks like you put a gecko head on a frog body. Anyways, dinner time soon. I'm gonna head off before I stare into something's guts. Thanks for the chat. Have an awesome stream. No problem. Yeah, at some point we might get into grosser things, so I don't blame you. Have a great day. Looks like a crocodile. It kind of does. It just has a really, like, protruding snout, which is weird. Okay, anyway. Let's go back. I want to learn about it. Well, this... Oh. No, I don't want to look at the frog anymore, please. Maybe later. Oh, no, I don't want people to know my email address. I'm sorry. Okay, well, I don't think this is gonna give me what I want. It has an array of sharp pointed projections on the head. It's gonna head's fused to the skull. Just tell me about the venom. Skull spines capable of injecting venom into other animals via headbutting? That might be the best thing I've heard all day. This frog injects venom into people by headbutting them. That is wonderful. That is good stuff right there, let me tell you. Okay. On that note, I do need to go to the bathroom, so I will be right back. I will put on some music for you, and we're all just gonna sit for a minute and bask in the wildness of the headbutting frog. Alright, I will be right back. You're back. I don't know how much. I feel like I don't know how much Subnautica we're even gonna get to play today because I'm so into this. This is what we're doing for the next 3 weeks. We're just gonna talk about Venom and nothing else. Well, I feel like we've learned what we needed to about this frog. It's wild. Okay, I'm gonna look at my next thing. Yeah. Okay. One thing. I'm gonna get back to Subnautica soon, but there is one other point, just because it sort of goes along with the one we were just talking about, which is the thing, like, one of the, among other things, one of the problems with the whole deadliness thing is the fact that was talking about, like, concentration, like what concentrated dose is deadly to mice or humans or whatever. But the other problem is different animals that inject you with venom will inject you with different amounts of venom. Some, I believe it was talking about, there's some snakes that, while they might not be like concentration wise as venomous, they make up for it in just sheer volume, which is a whole nother thing, basically. Let's see. Yeah, that's like basically, so there's two big groups of snakes, which is like the vipers and then the elapids, I think is how you say it. Let me make sure that's not even in here. Anyways, that's fine. But there's two main types, and there's venomous snakes in both. And I think vipers are generally have less. Have less like concentration wise potent venom, but they make up for it in just delivering. Like this is saying king cobras can deliver up to 7 milliliters of venom every bite, which is enough to kill 20 people apparently. And again, it's like smaller animals even just like may not have enough room to have that much venom like on standby basically. So there's a lot of factors that can go into how deadly an animal is in terms of venom specifically. I mean, just in general also. Okay, let's go back to Subnautica. Let's go back. Boot to boot to boot. And we scan like a couple things. We'll see really quickly if we scan anything particularly interesting. Blighter we'll look at in a sec. We did scan some flora, but as you may or may not know, I'm not nearly as well versed in flora. Blood root. Generally extend from one cave wall to another. It's a root system. It breaks into open water. It tendrils upwards for enhanced structural integrity. Where the root meets the cave wall, it penetrates into the rock and continues to grow, albeit at a slower rate. So this is sort of like the I don't remember what it's called, but the kelp forests there are. Here it's the same kind of thing. It's like there's one macroflora that is just dominating this ecosystem, and there's other types of flora around, but this is like the main one that makes up like the structure between the rock and the roots. Like this makes up the structure of this ecosystem. And we got potato plant. I don't know anything about potatoes other than I love them. I want to know what these are. They're just a sack. I genuinely, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Oh, change screens. Oh, thank you. I always forget to do this. I do this all the time. It's okay. Here, well, I'll go back really quick to the, so there's the blood vine and the blood root, and it's the same sort of thing we were looking at before we won Subnautica. Fair enough. That's fair. With the creep vine, that's what it is. That's basically like kelp, and it makes up just the structure of the whole ecosystem, basically. And there's a ballad. Anybody want a ballad? Collects water from the air rather than relying on its root system. It produces large, fleshy fruits and have high water content. That's interesting. I mean, I guess there's probably the islands might be like quite human. How much legitimate marine biology is in this game? Well, the interesting thing to me is that they have all of these data banks, which are like a very sort of biology type thing, but like as we've gone through like quite a lot of the fauna, and like we can look at some here where it's like we've gone through some of these, and it's like something like this where it's literally mostly eyeball and has no like real useful fins on it. Like that's like unlikely. There are some stuff that is better. There's some like this, but there's just a lot of stuff. I mean, this is kind of going over stuff we've already talked about before, but they have a lot of detail in this game that it's like, if you really look into it, you're like, that doesn't actually make sense. Like, at least in the real world, and like, you're willing to suspend some disbelief for that, but there is some stuff where I'm like, I don't think it would have made the game worse to take that out. Like, one thing that I am a big supporter of, even though it may not make a ton of sense in the real world, is a ton of the stuff, the flora and the fauna, the plants and the animals, are all bioluminescent, so they're lit up at night. And like, that makes sense from a gameplay perspective, because if it was just pitch black all the time, it wouldn't be as fun. And it's really pretty at night when all the stuff is out. But that's not something you see so much in real life, where there's just like tons of bioluminescence everywhere. But there's some stuff, like with the example of the peeper, this is something we talked about. So it says it has powerful fins, which enable it to rapidly accelerate and leap meters out of the water. And we talked about, I love Firefly Squid. And we talked about how this kind of tail is, I believe it's called a homocircle tail, this particular type of, like, where the fin is and how the, I can't remember what this is called, but the peduncle, I think, is set up. And it's like, this is not the tail of a fish that can accelerate quickly, or one that can leap out of the water. And like, I'll show you really quick, just because I can. So peduncle. Like, I'll show you peduncle. I think it's called it's called the something peduncle. Maybe the caudal peduncle. That's my guess. I will switch screens. I promise I know this time. It's because I don't always have my OBS up, and so sometimes I forget. Is that what it's called? The caudal peduncle. Yeah, because we have the actual. Another aside. Lots of asides in this show, but there's like the actual like caudal fin, which is the part with the fin, and then sort of in the middle is the peduncle, which creates the force behind the tail. But so just as a couple examples of fish that are actually fast, is I want the fin. I want shark fins, not.
Fluid intake.
Oh, I'm just gonna pause that really quick. This is a good picture. So you can see fishtails that are fast usually have a like serious fork in them, like shark tails do here. You can't see this, right? Yes. And this one, so they have a big upper lobe, which is the top of their tail, because that's where the majority of the force is coming from. And then another really fast fish. Actually, I'm going to leave the shark one up so I can refer to it after. So another really fast fish we look at is the tuna. And tunas they look like a lot smaller tails, but they're like very, very heavily forked. So they're like almost like vertical. You can see it's seriously forked. And these are really, really fast fish. And they can, I believe, maintain speed over quite some distance, whereas sharks are ambush predators, so they're made to be fast over very short distances. Now, this is so it says that the peepers can jump out of the water, and the tail of a fish who can jump out of the water basically looks like the upside down image of a shark's tail. And they also, the animals, like you saw the flying squid, Japanese flying squid, and the flying fish, they both have a part of their body that kind of acts like a glider. So let's see here. So you can clearly see the flying fish have basically what look like wings, which help them like stay out of the water and sort of glide. And they also, their tail is still seriously forked, but they have a big lower lobe, so they're producing more force out of the bottom of their tail, which helps them go up. And then again, you can see with the squid, they use their I don't remember what this is called, but their little head fins, they use those also to kind of like a glider. Hi, Messenger. Good to see you. I'll have you on the background trying to get some workouts in before the stream. Well, good for you. I'm sad because I can't go climbing right now, and I can't bike because my shoulder hurts, and we're in the process of trying to get it better, so mostly I've just been walking. But just when I got into like biking and like did cardio for the first time in a long time. Anyways, so yeah, this is just some of the things where I'm like, I wonder how much they really put into the biology of this game. I don't know. I don't know. But in general, it seems like it was more like, let's make things that look cool, not necessarily let's make things that make sense, which is fair. Part of fiction and fantasy and stuff is about, you know, making cool things. But as a little biologist girl, it would be cool if it all made sense more than it does. Anyways, I do think they did some stuff, like biology-wise, really well. For example, like this is a spoiler, by the way. I'm telling you right now, there's spoilers ahead. This whole stream is probably spoilery because I've already played this whole game and we're not here necessarily for the gameplay. But the reason, so there's low biodiversity in this game, which means there's not a ton of species around. Higher diversity usually means a healthier ecosystem because you want lots of different species. When one or a few species dominates, that's usually not very good for the ecosystem. It doesn't drive like evolution or anything like that. It's just not, excuse me, I'm burpy now, sorry. It's not the best way for an ecosystem to be, and there is pretty low biodiversity in this game, which makes sense, like from a game design perspective, I presume, because, you know, there is quite a lot of creatures in this game, and designing, but I don't know how many creatures there actually are in this game, but like compared to our ocean and how many like hundreds and thousands and like maybe millions of like species live down there, like it makes sense that they wouldn't design like 1,000 different kinds of creatures. That it makes sense. But they do have, I think, a good reason for this, which is, again, this is a spoiler, just so we're aware on this, so like mute here if you don't want to hear it. But they're the reason in this game that they give for why there's low biodiversity is that there was a bacteria that caused like severe illness, and that came to this planet and is now spreading, and it killed tons of species, and the only species that survived were ones that were able to deal with the bacteria. And I haven't looked a ton into that because that gets into like much, I'm much more about like the sort of macro level biology. I like the big stuff. I'm not as into like cell biology and that kind of thing, although I do have like some understanding of it because I had to. But so at least with that, like they give a biological like reasoning that I find adequate. But I don't know, it'd be interesting to know like who was the person in the game who came up with all this stuff, and like how did they do it. Ooh, look, a message.
This is an automated distress
Okay.
signal. Life pod will
What do I want here?
coordinates attack. Warning, life pod has sucked beyond safe diving distance. Do not attempt
We'll just
retrieval
here for
without
now.
submersible
Put the
support.
rubies in
Signal
butts.
location uploaded to PDA.
This is just where random stuff is going. This can all go in here. Oh, I got a spinefish. I guess I'll eat it for fun. A high warrior girl. This feels very Ad Astra the City. I don't know what that means, but thank you, mate. Okay. I don't need the magnetite right this second. Actually, I can go in there. So diamond and lithium and gold. Nothing gets you going like organizing. Okay, and then I wanted to go plant some stuff in my little garden. Just go all the way around. God, I can't see anything. It's fine now. I think if I do this and then I pop it, it'll give me it gives me 3. That sucks. That's not a nice number. And it'll give me more. And they're little, they're so small. That's good. Good morning. Okay. Wait, what was the thing it just gave me? 500 meters down. Ooh, 250. We could go to that one. That is very, very far away, though. So there is that. And then the other thing is I need... Oh, I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Totally have. I need water, for one thing. We should get on that. I'm gonna put, like, 3 of these, honestly. They're the best thing.
Vital signs.
No, but I can't use that for water because I just use it all. Maybe if I use these. You get a lot out of the lantern plants, and you do get water out of them, so. I get water out of these. Ooh! That's really good. That's even better. My god. Marble melons might be where it's at. Plant all of these. There. Okay, that's better. But I need to fetch. I have magnetite now, enamel glass, and then plasteel. So we can go deeper. And then we got salt. We got lots of salt. Okay. So. No, I don't need that. I needed. I think it's lithium for plasteel. I'm hoping. Here's hoping. Hello? Yeah, it's just like a ton of titanium and lithium. So I need 2 of those. Yes? 2 plasteel for the both of them. 2 magnetite and enamel glass rubies. Okay. Okay, luckily I have tons of titanium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And some amount of lithium. I'll just make them both now, I think. Make my life easier. There's 1. Takes a long time. Yeah, perfect. And we're gonna go deep. It's funny to me that, like, the first stuff module is not that hard to make. And then the other 2 are, like, a significant step up, but they're not that different because I think by the time... Well, maybe with the rubies... Like, I just remember definitely the first time I played it, and even right now... What is happening? Does it think I have the knife out? I like how there's bubbles coming off the knife, even though I'm not on the water. Oh, but now it's where my hand is. But definitely when I played this the first time, I could just make them at the same time, which felt a little weird to me, because I was like, that wasn't hard at all. I need enamel glass, though, which I think I need stalker teeth for, which is a bit annoying. Yeah. I just need... Do I need 2? Or 1? Just 1. Okay, so I need 1 stalker tooth. Which is why we have a scanner room, in theory. Love this. At some point I would really like to just make a pretty base. But I got stuff to do. Did make that HUD thing, right? I did not. I should do that. I need a computer chip and magnetite. I might do that first really quick. Computer chip, magnetite, computer chip, magnetite. Wait, what? Why can I see it? Wait a minute. I don't have the... Oh wait, maybe I do. Oh, I do, it's just, it's on me and not on the... I'm a smart thing, so I probably use my, actually, my CMOS.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
No. I will probably try to get the prawn suit soonish too, because then we can go like real. Because I don't remember how deep this thing ends up being able to go. 500 or 600 maybe? Not deep enough, basically. Not deep enough, for sure. For sure. What the heck, where is that? Was it in here? Right where the stingers are, which I love a lot. Yep. Ah, it's because that's where the stalkers are. Okay. I'm gonna have to fight, probably. Oh, ow! How did he bite me? He already had it.
Be advised, a common complication for cave divers
I'm sorry?
is loss of orientation. followed by eventual asphyxiation.
I'm sorry? Cross through the map. Okay, cool. Cool. Awesome. That's great. That's really good. Can I just pop one into the stalker's mouth? I don't need to kill it, I just need to, like, fight it and then pop a tooth out. Pop a tooth? Please tell me this one's not also in the ground. Please tell me it's just, like, down here somewhere. It's in the ground, isn't it? Like, unless that's in a cave. I'm so confused. How am I supposed to get in there? Or is it just glitching? Not sure. Ew. I think my... Oh, never mind. I was gonna say my scanner room ran out of power, because it does that sometimes. I went in here already, and it's frustrating. I literally need one. Just one. Please. Like, it is. Okay. Can I put this baby in there? Make my life easier. Maybe. Perhaps. You know what? We'll just try it. Oh, yeah. Like, that's definitely just in the ground, right? Unless it's... No, but like, what? Even if it was in a cave, like, the stalkers don't really go that deep, right? This game is upsetting. I'm upset for it. Ow. I need one stalker tooth, please. This is the other one. I love this game, but sometimes it bothers me. I mean, we could go back and take a camera for a spin and try to find with that. I don't know if that's gonna work any better, frankly. You sure I can't just bop him? Bop a tooth out of his mouth? I would have thought there'd be more teeth by now, but I guess there isn't. There, down we go. Oh, there's more now! Please let one of them be one I can get. Please. You may just have to give up on the depth modules if I can't find a stalker tooth right now. I already don't remember which one we tried to get. Oh, I have like no health. That's cool. Did we try this one? It'd be cool if it told you how far away it was so I could determine if it was literally just somewhere I couldn't get. Wait, this is one that... This is a new one. I'm using this to go past the stingers, because fuck them. Oh no. No. Oh god. Okay. Right? This is a new tooth? What? Wait. What? Hello? What? You guys are seeing this too, right? I'm not crazy. Is it down here somewhere? Wait, is that it? Oh. Okay, that was deeply confusing.
Blueprint acquired.
The scanner, not the best thing ever. Ew. Hey, get go away. Can I repair his tooth and put it back in his mouth? Just curious. Just asking. Just wondering. Okay. Thankfully, I only need the one for what I need right now. Yep, it's fine. This is fine. This is good, and we're fine. I just need to... Excuse me. Yep. Okay. Yep. No, I'm stuck. A little bit. Come on. New plan. That one. Smooth as butter. Easy. Just that simple. I need to heal. There's my base. Okay. I think we have quartz. So we should probably have everything else. And then we can go deeper. Which is the best. It's the best thing. Is every time you get a new upgrade where you can go deeper into an environment. I need something to drink / eat. Alright. At some point, I guess I could also make, like, the... I don't know how much I care about the energy efficiency, because I haven't really had any problems with the battery yet. I have that already. That too, I'm like, I can just charge it here. The defense system might be nice. I don't think I care about the torpedo system, and I don't know if the sonar is useful or not. Whatever. We're not dealing with that right now. I do also need to go turn off the scanner room, because I no longer care about Shocker 2. I just went, like, all the way around. The moon pool's right. Oh, right here. Yeah, no, I went all the way around. That's cool. Good stuff. Anything else here I care about? No. Egg. At some point I'll care about egg, but not today. God, so many. So nice to have so many medkit collocators. Okay. Great. That's not it. Hope y'all are ready to go deeper. I'm ready. And it's... we probably have time for like one more adventure, and then we'll probably talk about some more Venom stuff. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I have enamel glass, I have plasteel, and then I need magnetite. I think. And then rubies, if I have that many rubies. Nope, they're not in here, they're in here. I have just the right amount. This is the most important thing. Oh. Right. Need the old module. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I know I will. I promise. I'm just excited. Oh. Oh. It is ready. Okay, now I just need to eat. That's still growing. These are done growing, perhaps? Nope. But they're close. Yeah, I think I want the water stuff more than the food stuff, honestly. Like, I'll probably put... yeah, one of these in here and then use the rest for
vital signs stabilizing.
the other thing. See, and you get like just a ton of lantern fruit out of this. What if I just eat so many lantern fruit that I'm no longer thirsty? It'd be cool if this thing had more storage, or you could like attach storage to it. Like, not like I did, but like as a funnel thing. That would be cool. That would be very nice. Anything else we need other than like water? I don't think so. Let's go take this baby for a spin. Actually, maybe I'll pop out some batteries just because I can. Just because it's good to have fresh batteries and everything. How many things do I have that need batteries? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except this one's full. So we'll do 4, basically, which is perfect. So that 97, but you know what? We'll top her off anyway. Just to be extra. This one also is fine, but it's fine. It's good. I'll keep the 97 one. just almost there. About this one. Oh, the marble balls are done. Excellent. I just that. Oh, I've done a silly here is what I've done. It's okay. My brain just broke a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. We have all these ones. Need one of those. Perfect. Okay, now I'm so full. So full and full of water. I'm ready to go. Wait. Hang on. There's... Wait, was there a new O2 tank I could make? This one? Lithium 4. I can do that. I'm gonna do that really quick, because then I'll have even more breath. And then we're going adventuring. Going on an adventure. This is why lithium is so important. You need so much of it, and I like grabbed all that I could even when I wasn't using it. Pop that off. I don't really know what advanced maneuverability means in this game. Like, does it make you faster? And who cares about being faster when you have this big of lungs? Okay, now we can go... Oh, we can do all the deep things. Here we go. I think it was... I was thinking 600, but... 900! Oh, that's pretty good. Maybe it get, I feel like the middle one's either 500 or 600. Okay. Let's just make it a little... Perfect. She's ready. God, 900 meters. I could go anywhere.
Your systems
More or
online.
less. What's the closest? That's 500, and it's very far away. That's also far away. Anything that's not super far away. No, there is not. Okay. Well, we could go there. Let's do that. I'm gonna save really quickly, just to be safe. I like never save. We'll go in adventure. And we'll see what's over here at CTOU's life pod. I think I've talked about this before, and this is kind of spoilery, but I wish... I mean, they give you hints of what happened to everyone, because it's like... Some of them, it's like, oh, this thing's like swimming around outside or like trying to get into our pods. It's like, okay, clearly they got eaten, and I'm sure they all probably got eaten, but you just never really find out. I want to find new things. This is very far away, so we're just gonna vibe for a second. Oh, that's a wall. Forward. We're gonna hope we don't find any Reapers, because I don't have a stasis rifle yet. I'm not ready. God. Imagine navigation taking more than one hand. Oh! My bad, my bad. It's fine, guys. We're back in it. We're back in it. Do 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 do. We tried so hard. I love how the water changes too when you go into different environments. I think that's super cool. I do also have 2 beacons that I could make use of, and I'll probably make more at some point. But this promises to be somewhere cool. Extra cool. I think at some point too, like maybe in a victory lap of this game, I'll try to get all of the eggs. So I can have all of the things. I believe we've looked at that kind of ray already. God, we're going out. Oh, and there's a bone shark. That one's infected. We also have looked at that one. Wow, this is scary. It's like the drop-off in Nemo, except now I can... It's less scary when you can skirt along the bottom. It's scarier when you just have to cross it. Get the heck away from me. It's like, and this is so barren looking that it's spooky. We're going back to the blood cup. Okay. Cool. That's cool looking. Leave me alone. We're gonna not go where the warper is, ideally. Oh god. Oh, this is deeper than we've ever been. Oh. That can't tell if that's a warbird or a thing I there he is. Oh, there they are. Oh my god, I want to scan those boys, but I'm afraid a little bit. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Hi! Ah! There you go. Come back. I don't remember them teleporting. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I definitely need to go to the Aurora after this too, so I can have the rebreather. Hi! Please don't hurt me. I'm just vibing. Please stop, please stop. Please stop it. Stop it. I'm far away. Because that was the thing I kept thinking about that I wanted to find was the crab squid. Ooh, I also fight the big spaghetti man. I don't think I would win that fight. I wanted to plant one of those. Okay. And then the pod's like, wait, I just lost the pod. There it is. Let's see what's in here. I like don't listen to the voice logs because I sort of already have. But is there nothing here? I guess at a certain point these are kind of just here to be like, hey, have you like explored this biome yet? Because you should, unless to get upgrades and whatnot. Make Saida fight it instead then. I mean, I could. Now I just want to go deeper. This direction is deeper. Oh, see, now we're going into the caves, which is spooky. Oh boy. Oh! Oh! Big man! I gotta scan him right, but holy crap. I hate it! No! I hate it. They're worse. They have longer legs, and thus they're worse. Can I just, like, stop it? Just smash you into the ground. I hate you. I hate it. Ampule, 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 Ampule. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's back. Wait, what? Okay. Hi. You don't mind if I just come up under you and This is so much easier because I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna get murdered if I say that. Ow! Maybe they don't bite you. Maybe they just shock you. Come back. Ow! Yeah. Okay. I have yeah. Or maybe they do bite as well. Yeah, you know, I'm thinking. According to my calculations, they do in fact bite, and I should have been higher on health. So, that was a learning experience is what that was. Okay, but we're fine. We're gonna go back. I'll just have to make sure I have an extra battery. Probably for the, It's okay, you live and you learn. God, this thing, that's so far away. Well, guess what we're doing for the next while? I mean, I might just spend the last, decide that that's... We'll go back for that. I'll go back for that later. And we'll see really quick what we did find. We haven't looked at this guy yet, but I think again we did talk about the floaters already. These ones are just huge. Immature floaters are born near the surface from where they sink to the sea bed, attaching to any stable surface they find on the way. These individuals are fortunate enough to attach to a digestible nutrient source, will grow in size, thus increasing their buoyancy and drawing whatever they attach to the surface. In extreme circumstances, a number of floaters may attach to a Leviathan-class life form, forcing it to the surface and effectively asphyxiating it. The body will be consumed over a number of months until eventually dissolving, leaving the floaters free to attach to a new host. Those creatures which successfully raise a landmass to the surface are rewarded with a burgeoning and permanent food supply, allowing them to finally reproduce and begin the cycle again. Assessment incredible. I mean, these are really cool. Although, okay, wait. As older plants decay, organic residues and nutrients seep into the rock and are consumed by the floater. So it can suck the nutrients out of rocks? That's interesting. That's an interesting idea. I think these are really cool. I'm not sure how much sense they make. This is the worst thing in the game. I've decided. This is it. This is him. That is a nightmare. Agile, territorial scavenger that moves in packs, closely related to the amphibious cave crawler but adapted to deep sea conditions. Legs. I hate it. Extend more than a meter from the... allowing it to move at surprising speeds and even to scale was. I want to point out, though, like... We all know you move slower in water, and having longer legs, I'm not sure that would actually make you faster in water. I mean, it would enable, like, greater movement in terms of, like, reach and stuff, but I don't know that actually makes them faster. I hate them, though. It can lower its entire body to bring its mandibles within grasping distance of the carrion on which it feeds, while retaining the maneuverability it requires to avoid its predators. I hate it, but it's fine. Look at those eyeballs. I don't want to spend too much time on him. Okay, let's look at the blighter really quick. Even though small predator shares a close resemblance to the more common biter, but tends towards a more solitary, less aggressive hunting style. Olfactory stalk. While the red-tipped protrusion once served as a sensory apparatus, it adapted not to chase, but to coax its prey into its path. As prey creatures are attracted to the dancing of the stalk, the blighter can dart forward and catch and consume them. See that? We did talk about with the biter how this is supposedly an olfactory, which is like smell antenna, which doesn't make a ton of sense because that just makes it further and further from the brain where the information is processed, and it makes it more delicate. So I don't really know why they would even have it on an antenna. But this makes more sense, because this is more like the angler fish, where it's like, oh, they use it as like a lure. That makes more sense. Teeth. They sure do have teeth. Eyes. This creature has found little use for its eyes in the deep, dark caverns it inhabits, and its eyeballs are likely sensitive to nothing more than broad fluctuations in local light sources. See, the thing that's interesting about that, though, is they have, like, the same size eyes. Usually when, like, a sense or an organ or, like, whatever becomes less useful, it will degrade over time. It'll become smaller. So it's interesting that they even still have the big eyes. Although they're very similar to the biters. So, like, they're just recolored biters, essentially. Maybe a little bulkier on the bottom. But it's still interesting that they have such big eyes. Anyway, sorry, I was just mesmerized. Avoider incapacitated. Crab squid. Here it is. This large predator can be found in deep waters where it lurks amongst the blood kelp and membrane trees in search of prey. It can employ a powerful electromagnetic pulse to defend itself. limbs. 10 limbs feature different appendages for swimming, walking, hunting, and possibly even tool use. Creatures caught in its grasp are expertly butchered and quickly consumed. So this is something we talked about a bit before with like crabs and stuff, who have like, especially around their mouth, they have a lot of like little tiny appendage things that are used for like tearing or chewing or like food manipulation, stuff like that. So it's kind of like that behavior. Rays and other illuminated herbivores are usually its prey, and it will approach and attack any light source in the vicinity. Its EMP blast was likely developed as a response to predation by creatures with electrical hunting mechanisms. I will say I know what an EMP is. I have no idea how it works exactly. Like, I get the idea that it's like it will disable your technology, because that's just like a thing you see in games sometimes, but that's about as far as my knowledge goes on EMPs. And for an animal to be able to produce like not just electricity, but produce like an outward blast, like not just it touches you and shocks you, but like a serious, that's interesting. And this comes back to this thing where we were talking about with, what was the other thing? Not the ant eel, but there was something else that, oh, we were talking about the what are they called? The dangling boys. What are they called? The drooping stingers. So this is something we were talking about before, because they also do like use an electromagnetic charge. I think it's interesting in this game that they seem to have gone to like electricity as an offense or defensive thing in fish, where like when I feel like venom would have been a more appropriate solution. Because we were talking about how it doesn't really make sense that, you know, like to what I understand, like a charge of electricity might paralyze you for a very short amount of time, or it might like disrupt your muscles so bad that they can't be used again. But I don't even know a whole ton about what it takes to produce electricity. I mean, we already produce like little electrical currents in our bodies, because that's how our neurons and stuff communicate. But like to make this much electricity to paralyze a prey, where I feel like a much more common thing that's evolved on Earth, at least, is like venom in all sorts of types, because you can have venom that just hydrate. You can have venom that completely paralyzes, like long term. I just don't think electricity is as like effective as venom would be, maybe, because venom, there's tons of different kinds of venom and they do different things, where it's like I think electricity tends to disrupt the same kinds of things, so it can be less specific to your prey type or predator type in any case. So I do think it's interesting that they have quite a few things that are more based in electricity stuff than like venom or something more like that. Because this is a thing where it's like, well, as a response to predation by creatures with electrical hunting mechanisms. I don't know what kind of defense you use against electricity, honestly. Ground beats lightning, right? Or electric in Pokemon. Intelligence. Crab squids appear to have a large brain and a resemblance to the intelligent squids of Earth. The organ inside the creature has in fact its stomach, which it must fill with startling regularity. I mean, but like this is what it's like for like an octopus and stuff too. Like their organs are in their like head area, because it's like their whole body is their like head. So that is, yeah. And again, one thing like about octopuses and why they're so like smart and stuff is in terms of like neurological pathways, I'm pretty sure it's a thing where it's like each arm kind of has like a mind of its own, and so they can do a lot of things at the same time because they don't necessarily have to like consciously coordinate each arm. It will approach and attack any light source in the vicinity. Neutralizes electrical equipment. Light attracts its unwanted attention. That's... I wonder... I don't know how that works, because I've never really noticed it in the game. There's a couple animals that seem to be attracted to lights or stuff like that. Unsure. Let's go look at the floor really quick. Just because they're pretty. It's not listed in existing flora, so it's unclear whether it's native or not. Interesting. This may be due to result of DNA transfusion rather than natural evolution. Grub basket. Sludge. That's nice. Ooh, it's a carnivorous plant, maybe. Those are cool. Jaffa cup. Grows quickly. Ming plant. Fancy. Base-like trunk protects the root system from predation and self-repairs over time. Explaining the cracks. This one's really pretty. Okay. Anchor pods. Unusual flora specimens have been encountered exclusively on the deep reefs. They consist of large, spherical, gas-filled membranes anchored to the seafloor by its root system. These depths, it's unlikely this structure is designed to enhance access to sunlight, but rather the pod's ability to propagate. Once the pods attain sufficient height, they burst, releasing spores which catch the current and disperse around the local area. I mean, the thing about that, though, is, like, the sort of nice thing about water in comparison to air is it's easier to produce stuff that is lighter than water. And so it's easier to propagate. I mean, because one challenge that fish and other animals that live in water have to face is how you regulate your buoyancy. And they can do that by having, you know, certain types, like a lot of certain types of molecules, like stuff like urea. Or they can do that with like a gas bladder or stuff. But like a lot of fish and corals and stuff like that, and sea urchins, not sea urchins, what's the thing I'm looking for? Sea anemones, I guess, is the thing I was looking for. But they, and like just in the ocean especially, because it's much easier to like disperse things than in the air. A lot of species will just, instead of like sexual reproduction where there has to be direct interaction between the male and the female, they'll just like release a bunch of eggs, and the male will release a bunch of sperm, and like probably some of them get mixed up. They just release a ton, so it happens, hopefully. So it's interesting that like the only reason this would really need to happen where like they have to reach a sufficient height before they burst and like propagate is if the spores had something that is absolutely essential and could not be done away with, that makes them heavier than water, so they would just sink. Interesting. Anyways, eye stock. I'm in a webinar and I just see your arms flailing. I tend to flail sometimes. I do a flailing. Cave-dwelling tuber dotted with luminescent, photosensitive eyes may in some way direct the twisted growth of spectrums themselves, possibly in reaction to other light sources, proximity to cave walls, or other environmental conditions. That's interesting. I don't know of any plants that have eyes. That would make a good gift for some, just like the baby. The funny thing too is because my cam is like squished down. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Most of my like arm movement, like you can't even see it because it's like out here. Ow, that hurts. Should do that. Ghost weed. Ooh. Membrane tree. This entity defies neat categorization. It consists of more than one coral species working in tandem to create an insulated microcosm enclosed within a translucent membrane found exclusively going on basalt rock in the Grand Reefs. The homeostatic conditions within are considerably warmer and more dense with microbial life. Then the outside environment and the bright purple fauna inside will likely die off. Clearly exposed. That's interesting. So basically, what it's saying here is it has its own teeny tiny ecosystem inside that it maintains. I don't have a ton to say about that. I just think it's cool. I don't know how likely it is. But it's like a little incubator. Tiger plant. These ones are funny because they throw things at you. This plant has adapted to sense fluctuations in the water at movements of up to 15 meters and is capable both of prehensile movement of its tubes as well as the propelling of thorns. We need to redeem Ice Your Shoulder. I will ice it after this, I promise. Although capable of incapacitating small herbivores, this plant lacks carnivorous digestive organs. Would-be predators caught in its defensive perimeter serve as a warning, and then they decompose. Yes, okay, this is one thing where I'm like, this is more a gameplay thing than like this actually makes sense biologically thing, because like plants do in some cases, you know, they have stuff like thorns. They might have a texture on them that makes them significantly less pleasant for animals to eat, to discourage animals from eating them, basically. But first of all, I don't even know how a plant would, without, you know, sense organs. I mean, I guess it must have sense organs for that, but without significant sense organs, how it would throw thorns at creatures, and why it would only do that as a defensive thing when it's likely that just being covered in spines is a pretty good defense to begin with, because nothing wants to eat things covered with spines. So this is one that I'm just writing off as like, oh, it's an added danger of like it throws spines at you. Tree geological data. I think I've got to this already. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick, and then we'll end off our last like 20 minutes or so, and we'll talk more about Venom stuff, and then I'm gonna go eat lunch. So I will be right back. back. Actually, I might switch it to the... I might just switch to just chatting, and then we'll probably switch to the browser one. So, for the last, 15 minutes or so, we're just going to talk about, 1 or 2 points from the book. Which, again, I highly recommend you all read. But, so the next thing in here that I thought was really interesting and I wanted to talk about was there was a part of this that was talking about, one of the big things we're always interested in, especially about ourselves, is, how did we evolve to this point? What made us the way they are? Because evolution's a very interesting thing, just in general. But there was one anthropologist named Lynn Isbell who proposed, so we're talking specifically about our visual systems and why we developed good eyesight in the first place. And it may have been partly due to the arboreal lifestyle and needing to be able to identify food, so fruit and the colors it is, but also predation pressure might have been another driver of that. And one of those things might have been that it may have been that snakes were a big driver of that. This is called the snake detection theory, where in Asia and Africa, when snakes were becoming more venomous, it was even more important for humans or human ancestors to be able to identify at much further distances and smaller details, because of how deadly the snakes were, basically, because it became more and more of a thing of if it gets you, that's it, you're dead. So it's just a really interesting, one thing about people that I find very interesting is that humans are, we're just inherently afraid of snakes. It's one of those things that's programmed into us. And, people, you have to actively work to get past it, if that's the thing you want to do. If you want to work with snakes, you want to just not be afraid of snakes, you have to actively work against your instincts that tell you you're afraid of snakes. Because even, when I started working with snakes, I started... It was one of those things where, especially the baby snakes would be particularly defensive because they weren't used to being handled yet. And so they would often, they'd hiss at you, they'd rise up and strike at you to be leave me alone, get away from me. And it became a thing where it was you just have to pick them up anyway, and they don't get used to people holding them unless you hold them, which means picking them up and doing it gently and not freaking out when they're hissing at you and they're biting you and stuff. And baby snake bites don't really hurt, but it's a funny thing where it's even now. So I have a hognose snake who... Sorry, I'm just trying to find my card I was using. So I have a hognose snake, and he's this big right now. And the thing about hognose snakes that is unlike a lot of other snakes is hognoses bluff strike, which means they hiss and they strike at you, but they don't open their mouth, which means they're not going to bite you. So, and not only would it not hurt if he bit me, he isn't going to bite me anyways. And it's all literally just get away from me display when he's stressed. But I still, when I'm not expecting it, I still flinch really hard when he does that. When he strikes at me, even though I know that he's not a danger to me at all, and I have been bit by snakes and it is fine. So it's just this fascinating thing because it's built into us, and it has to be built into us for a reason, and it's likely because snakes were a big problem for us as a species at some point in time. So it's, and I think it was talking about in here how I don't know where it is, but maybe not. Hold on one second. Oh yeah, basically how primates that made it to, the New World, the Americas, our early ancestors, the enhanced vision wasn't as important because there weren't deadly snakes there yet. Later on that happened, but it's just a fascinating idea that snakes may have caused the evolutionary pressure on us our ancestors to develop better eyesight. Like, it's just fascinating how coevolution can work like that, because, you know, evolution in general is basically just always an arms race of who can develop better things faster, basically. And actually, I'm gonna skip this point because I wanted to. There's something that sort of rides in the back of that I wanted to talk about, and we were talking about cone snails before. I have too many notes. I'm trying to find the one that says cone snail. There it is. It's way back in the book, way different. Okay, so one of the reason I want to talk about cone snails is I think it said somewhere in here that venomous snails can create like so many different kinds of like different components in their venom, and one of the reasons they can do this is because they have like some of the most quickly evolving venom genes on Earth. So like evolution is basically it's so it's survival of the fittest, right? And fitness is basically it doesn't mean like physical fitness. Basically it means who is best adapted for this scenario, and thus who is going to live longer, or, you know, is able to capture prey, stuff like that. And you can alter genetic material in three main ways, which is, so just as a quick little thing on DNA. So DNA is made up of four, what are they called? Not amino acids, but four little components, which we have letters for them. What are they called? Bases, I guess. DNA bases. So there's A is for adenine, T is for thymine, G is for guanine, and C is for cytosine. We also have U, which replaces thymine, but that's an RNA. That doesn't matter right now. But our DNA is basically like the way we write it out and stuff, and the way it's easiest for us to study it is we write it out as a code of these letters, as these represent the bases. And so our DNA is a long string of letters in this example, right? And so the thing that you can do with DNA is mutations can happen, like single mutations can happen, which means a letter or a base changes to a different one. And that's usually a pretty small change. Because another thing with DNA is the way it gets like read is in codons, which are 3-letter codes. So you have all these letters, and certain combinations of 3 letters code for certain amino acids, I think. This is getting into stuff that I don't remember that well because I was never all that interested in it. But yeah, it is amino acids. I'm a smart girl. I remember things. So basically what can happen is if you mutate one letter, it changes one amino acid. It just changes that one, right? Let me hold on. Let me give it. I might hold on. We're gonna go to browser, I think, but so I just want to make sure, like, make a sort of visual representation for this. Can I just have Google Docs, please? Yeah, this is the last thing we'll talk about. But so just a quick overview before I like show you this. You can either have mutations where one letter changes, and so like the amino acid probably changes. Sometimes it doesn't, because different 3-letter codes can code for the same one. So sometimes nothing even changes, but one mutation changes one amino acid. And then we have insertions and deletions, which is basically what it sounds like, in that you're either taking one or a section out, or you're adding them. And what happens with this, and this is kind of why I wanted, you know, my Google Docs to go faster so I can show you this, is what happens if you delete or insert a base is it changes all of the ones down the line. So if this wants to, there we go. It did. It worked. Okay, so now we can go here. So just really quickly, where's my browser? There we go. So say we have like, you know, GAA, TAA, TCC, whatever. So this is our code, right? So these all code for a certain amino acid. And this want to be bigger. I don't know why my computer likes to be really slow sometimes. But like as I was saying before, we'll just leave it alone. If we change, well, actually, we'll do one in the middle, right? That's not a V, thank you. If we change this, like that's just changing this particular code, right? Because we're still split up into threes. It's just changing one thing. However, if instead of changing it, we inserted one in here, then suddenly this next one is different, and that continues down the line, so it can change all of the amino acids down the line. So those are like generally much bigger changes, essentially. So that's a tiny recap on DNA. So again, basically it's just that cone snails are able to make these changes even more quickly than like most other animals. So the speed of their evolution is a lot quicker, which means that they're able to alter the the way their venom is produced and what goes into the venom like crazy. And it's why they were able to, because I believe it said in here that it's likely that all cone snails, I think a lot of cone snails eat like mainly like worms, types of worms. But what probably happened was the venom was used for offense and defense, so it was used to kill their prey, but it was also used as a defensive thing against fish that were trying to eat them. But what happened was their venom was evolving so rapidly that it became potent enough to kill fish. And all of a sudden, oh, you have a dead fish, that's a free meal. And so some species developed into fish eaters. And their venom just keeps getting worse. Although it was also saying, just as a final thing, which is cool, just to leave you with a little fun thought, is I believe it was also talking about in here how they've begun to be able to use certain parts of cone snail venom as like a painkiller, basically. And they were able to do that because this one certain very specific element of the venom they make blocks specifically like pain receptor channels. So it doesn't like mess up with your muscles or like the action potentials going on in your brain, but it blocks the pain receptors. And if you're blocking the pain receptors, your brain's not getting that signal, you don't feel pain, which is crazy. Like there's just so much we don't know about venom. So much we don't know about everything. But even what we do know about venom, there's always more. Like there's so many components that go into every one that there's always more to learn, and it could have all sorts of really helpful, like not even just like anti-venom and reducing people dying from venom, but also just like so much in the pharmaceuticals and being able to help people. There's so much we can learn, so much we could do with it. It's all very exciting. I hear secretly. That's no worries. I'm about to end off. My throat's getting very dry. I definitely did not just show up. I mean, it's all good. We all have people. We all have stuff to do in our lives. We all have people to see, things to do. Anyway, so that is going to be the end of my stream today. One last time. I'm gonna be honest, we're gonna talk about Venom probably next week too, because we barely got into this book. But this is the book where I'm drawing a lot of these interesting points from. So one more time, this is Venomous by Christy Wilcox, and I highly recommend it. You can see all the notes I made. So this is something we will probably talk about more next week, because I just had such a good time talking about it, and there's so many more things, and it's so cool. Sponsored stream. Not sponsored, but trying to be. One day. Alright. Thank you, everybody who came. Yeah, this is a stream I'm still looking into, like, trying to figure out what my schedule is right now, and, like, what I want it to be, and sort of that kind of thing. And it's all sort of trial and error, but I am ending these streams earlier. Who knows, maybe I'll starting them earlier at some point, too. I don't know, but once again, I'll be back on Monday for Mindset Monday. I'll be back next Wednesday for another Wildlife Wednesday. A change in routine. I know, it's wild. I'm not doing Friday streams anymore. Be still, my artistic art. Yeah, I just wanted more time to explore other things. Like Twitter. I don't understand Twitter, and it scares me, and I don't like it. I'm still figuring it out. Anyways. But, thank you everybody for joining and came to hang out with me today, and I hope you learned some things. Twitter sucks. Well, social media in general sucks, but, you know, we all try our best. I appreciate any follows. I appreciate the people who followed today. My Discord is down below if you want to join it. We have good chats in there. And I just hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And I have to go restart my music thing because I stopped it in the middle like the fiend that I am. Yeah, that's basically it. Have a great day. We'll be back to talk about Venom on Wednesday. We'll be talking about some sort of mindset thing on Monday. Bye-bye.